Tonight's ballgame on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com has been driven by Greg Hubler Ford and built by Universal Roofing and brought to you by Peterman Brothers Heating and Air Conditioning, by Werner Financial, Genesis Sports Performance, and by The Mower Shop. This has been a presentation of IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
Joining you all from the Den at Monroe Central High School. It is a Mid-Eastern Conference matchup as the 1A number 12 Monroe Central Golden Bears host the 2A Shenandoah Raiders on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. My name is Colin Eccles. To my right is my broadcast partner, Joey Paternostro. Michael Blizik runs the cameras for us tonight. Joey will also be down on the sidelines here in a bit. Lily unable to join us tonight. Not feeling too hot, so obviously wishing her a speedy recovery. But Joey, great matchup ahead of us. Shenandoah sitting atop the Mid-Eastern Conference at 8-3 overall, 3-0 in conference play. Monroe Central sits down in fourth, 8-2 overall, 2-0 in conference play. And in between those two more great squads ahead of them. In second place, Eastern Hancock 3-0 in Mid-Eastern Conference play. Wapahani at 2-0 and 11-0 on the season. Needless to say, the Mid-Eastern Conference pretty loaded top to bottom. It's a big conference as well, one of the biggest in the state.
Certainly loaded. Today is going to be a fantastic matchup. The Golden Bears 5-0, undefeated right here in the Den. So today is set to be a good one. The Raiders 2-1 on the road. So we got two great teams, a fantastic matchup on this Friday night.
Yeah, both of these teams coming off some tough losses in their respective county tournaments. The visiting Raiders from Shenandoah, they lost in the opening round of the Henry County tournament to Tri, who they also beat earlier in the season. The earlier score in the season was a 62-49 win for the Raiders, and that loss to Tri in the opening round of county. Really close one, came right down to the wire, 46-40, the final score there. Tri, not a bad team by any means, just one blemish on their record, that being Shenandoah earlier in the season. Monroe Central lost in the opening round of the Randolph County tournament. Final score there, they lost to 2A Winchester, 39-37. But we were looking at this on the ride up here, kind of an interesting loss. Monroe Central definitely got the better end of Winchester in the season opener, 73-58.
Yeah, and coming off that loss, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how they bounce back in this one, especially against a talented team. Shenandoah, no schlubs like we've talked about already. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how this Raiders team neutralizes Easton Foster, averaging 24.3 points a game. Fantastic player, and it's going to be a heck of a matchup, and it's going to be fun.
Fun to say the least. I mean, like you said, Easton Foster from Monroe Central, 24.3 points a game, 10.2 rebounds a game, and 3 assists flat. That's a big dude to keep watch of. A 6'2" small forward. He also shoots it really, really well from all over the place. He's in the mid 60% overall. He's just above 40% from behind the arc, and he's 81% from the lines. I mean, that's a dude that's going to be really, really hard to lock down. But even when you lock him down, you've got a freshman, Luke Morgan, 13.9 points per game for him, just 3 rebounds and 2.8 assists as well. That's another big name, though, to watch for the Golden Bears. And I think defensively, Shenandoah is going to be up against a really tall task, just having to defend those two alone.
They certainly are, but, you know, the Raiders, they got a great team, like we've already talked about. Aiden Coffey, though, averaging just under 17 points a game, the 5'9" junior guard. And then you've got Cannon Case, the 6'5" senior center, averaging 8.5 points a ball game. I mean, they've got not one but 2 guys, along with the rest of the roster, obviously. But the Raiders, they're no schlubs.
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's a reason that they sit at the top of the Mid-Eastern Conference right now, and I think that height and length advantage is going to pay a little bit of is going to create a little bit of an issue for Monroe Central. You look kind of up and down the line at the Golden Bears. Tallest they're getting is about 6'2", 6 foot, and then you look at Shenandoah. I mean, 6'5" for Cannon Case. Up and down the line, 6'4", Garrett May, 6'1", Caden Gray, 6'1", and Carter Gray as well, 6 foot for Maddox Davis. It's a tall roster, 6'3" for Jaden Campbell as well. It's going to be a tall task for Monroe Central as they are just moments away from getting this thing started. It's also, we should mention, Legacy Night tonight at Monroe Central High School, kind of honoring and remembering the 4 schools that merged together back in 1956 to create Monroe Central High School. That was Green and Stony Creek Township Elementaries and Parker City and Farmland High Schools. All 4 of those schools came together in one big merger to create Monroe Central as we know it today in the Muncie area. And coming up on 70 years of that being the case. The merger happened back in 1956. So there will be a little bit of a special halftime remembrance of that merger, and what better way to get the night started than with some great varsity basketball. 1A number 12, Monroe Central Golden Bears hosting the 2A Shenandoah Raiders. We'll step aside for a couple minutes, rejoin you, and hopefully get some wise words in from head coach of the Golden Bears, Brian Klein, his first year at Monroe Central, 21st year overall, though, as a head coach in Indiana. We'll step aside for a couple of moments. This is IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com. Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Welcome back to Monroe Central High School as the number 12 Monroe Central Golden Bears get ready to take on the Shenandoah Raiders on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Before we get this show on the road, we don't want to forget our wonderful sponsors who make these productions possible every single Friday night. Starting off with tonight's game, built by Universal Roofing. Call Universal at 317-257-0779 or visit universalrfg.com. Tonight's game is driven by Greg Hubler Ford and Hyundai. Experience the Greg Hubler promise at greghublerauto.com. The Mower Shop in Fishers, mowers, snow throwers, parts, and more, all found at themowershop.com. Peterman Heating and Cooling. Call Peterman for same-day plumbing service at 317-608-1883. And of course, Johnson County Golf Carts, where small town charm meets exceptional service. Visit Johnson County Golf Carts in downtown Franklin or at jcgolfcarts.com. Once again, my name is Colin Eccles. Joining me tonight is Joey Paternostro. We'll hear from him down on the sideline in just a couple of moments with head coach of Monroe Central, Brian Klein. In his first year with the Golden Bears, has gotten them off to a really, really good start. 8-2 overall, 5-0 on their home hardwood, 2-2 on the road, 1-0 at a neutral site. That came earlier in the season against West Dell. The final score 68-61. When you look up and down the board at Monroe Central so far, their two losses coming to some really solid opponents. They lost on the road at Northeastern, a 13-0 undefeated Northeastern team, I might add. 66-43, the final score there. And then their second loss coming against Winchester, like we said earlier, in the first round of the Randolph County Tournament. Final score was Winchester 39, Monroe Central 37. We're just moments away from getting to hear from Joey and head coach Brian Klein. Got a couple questions down for him on the sideline. Let's go ahead and kick it down to Joey.
Coach, so you're coming off two losses so far this year, pretty far apart, 7 wins in between them. So what's it going to take to get back in the win column?
We got to defend and rebound and play with some energy. We didn't play with enough energy at the county tournament, unfortunately. So they got the 50-50 balls. They got the offensive rebounds. We got to do a better job of attacking the glass, taking care of the basketball, and playing with that energy and enthusiasm, and we need to be successful.
Easton Foster, big producer for you. Who else are you looking for to step up if Easton gets into a jam?
Well, you know, we've been very bad here in the tournament game. We got 3 or 4 guys close to double figures, so, you know, we just need to make that beat it comes, you know, and play off of Easton because he's going to get doubles. That's just the way things are because he's had such a successful year and he's such a talented player. So we just got to be ready, shoot the basketball in rhythm, and then go rebound the basketball.
Coach, plain and simple, what are the keys of the game to end this ball game and a win?
We got to put pressure on the rim. We got to get to the free throw line, be attacking the rim through the post or off the drive. We got to defend and we got to rebound the basketball, you know, and limit our turnovers. I think with this year we've been averaging keep it right out. We got to sir.
Thank you, Joey. Some good words from head coach of the Monroe Central Golden Bears, Brian Klein, who, as I said, in his first year at Monroe Central has done really a great job with this team. In 2023-24, the Bears finished 11-15 overall. They're off to a hot start this year, 8-2. Obviously, still a long way to go in the season, and a tough matchup ahead of them tonight against the Shenandoah Raiders, who sit at 8-3 atop of the Mid-Eastern Conference. Like I said earlier as well, they're coming off a loss in the opening round of their county tournament over in Henry County. The final score 46-40. their loss to Tri in that opening round. They beat Tri earlier in the year 62-49. That's Tri's only blemish on the year as well. We'll get Joey strapped back into the co-pilot seat up here from the broadcast booth, and talking to Coach Klein, he seems to have a lot of confidence that there's not much shaken up after that loss in the opening round of the Randolph County Tournament to Winchester. For him, it just seems like they didn't come out and play their best game, and I think that really just goes to show, especially in the state of Indiana, any team can win on any given night. If you are Monroe Central, you beat Winchester in the season opener 73-58, and then you come back and you lose to them in the Randolph County Tournament 39-37. Very easy for any team to pick up a win on any given day, and I think for Coach Klein and his view, it's pretty safe to say the Bears just didn't play their best game that night.
Yeah, Colin, but I have to admit, I love Coach Klein's answer. He's got full confidence in his team, which that's the only thing that's one of the very many things you want from your coach. However, coming off the tough loss like that, especially after beating Winchester earlier in the year, that's something you love to see from your head coach is full confidence. Yeah, it was a blunder, it was a mistake, but that's okay. He's got confidence they're going to come out here and win this ball game no matter what.
Absolutely. Coach Klein is a very experienced head coach as well in the state of Indiana. 21 years of being a high school basketball coach, and not many people really get elevated to that level. Obviously, in Monroe Central, it's only his inaugural season as the head coach of the program, but being around IHSAA basketball for 21 years, as prestigious as basketball is in the state of Indiana, that's no easy feat to be around for 21 years. Usually you see a lot of guys filter in and out in that position from school to school, but for him to hang around for over 2 decades now, that's a big deal. He brings a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience to this team, and clearly doing the right thing with a great start to the season.
Absolutely. It clearly shows. 8-2 so far, 5-0 at home. They're one of the top teams in the conference, that's no doubt. And Coach Klein has a very, like we've talked about, a lot of experience. So he's certainly leading his team. It all starts with the coach.
It's interesting to see, and talking to so many coaches over the years, you really figure out which ones know their way around the block just by kind of the answers that they give when they're talking to a sideline reporter. Coach Klein, very polished in how he gives it, and I think that's a good testament to the experience and the knowledge that he brings to the floor. Let's head over to the side of the Shenandoah Raiders, who 8-3 on the year under third-year head coach Rick Ellsworth. They are 5-2 at home, 2-1 on the road. They're also 1-0 at a neutral site. Their most recent loss coming on the 11th of this month to Tri, 46-40. Sitting atop of the Mid-Eastern Conference, but they're on the opposite end of the spectrum in 2A Sectional 44. They're just one from the bottom in 5th place. Now, granted, that doesn't necessarily matter because everybody makes it into the postseason in Indiana, but it is kind of nice to see where you match up in terms of your overall record, your sectional record, and your class record top to bottom when you do make it to that postseason, because at the end of the day, since everybody does make it to sectional time, that's an important thing to see. How do you stack up against some of that postseason competition that you may see down the line?
Shenandoah stacks up very well. Northeastern 13-0, Winchester 8-4, Centerville 8-6, and Shenandoah right up there with them. They're 8-3, so they can compete any day, any given moment, and it may just come down to one final shot or one final play.
Absolutely. Let's dissect their roster a little bit. 5'9" junior Aiden Coffey, the leading scorer for the Raiders, 16.8 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, just 2.5 assists per game as well. Up next after him, there's a relatively large drop-off. It goes down to Cannon Case, the 6'5" senior center, 8.5 points a game, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.3 assists for Cannon Case, and it drops off further after that. So the scoring relatively limited, and obviously a lot of the offense is going to run through Aiden Coffey tonight, but that's not to say that other guys, Zane Mitchell with 7.9 points a game, Jarrett Hellman with 5.2, Garrett May with 6.1. Some of those guys could very easily step up and take over. There's a lot of size for the Shenandoah team, but they've also got a relatively young team as well. You've got down the line, you've got a couple of freshmen and some sophomores up on the varsity level, but you've also got a good mix of juniors and seniors in as well. So you're kind of getting all levels of experience for the Raiders. And then on the side of Monroe Central, they're relatively senior heavy. Carter Wheatley is senior. Justice Ullum a senior. Carter Duncan a senior. Nate Luddington a senior. Preston Irwin a senior. And Wilson Lane a senior. Some of those guys not seeing a lot of significant moments yet this season for the Golden Bears, but nonetheless, it still brings a lot of experience to the table. And you and I both know from playing sports our entire lives, having some of that older, experienced leadership from a teammate and getting leadership from a teammate comes off a lot different than getting it just from your head coach.
Absolutely. It's, in my opinion, senior leadership, whether it's a senior or it's a junior, somebody that's older than you, other than your coaches, giving you advice and guys who have been there and done that in that situation before is very important to growth and preparation, especially for these two teams who are very talented on the floor. So it's key mentally off the floor to get you ready for those bigger moments come game time.
Got about 90 seconds before the opening announcements and the national anthem from inside of the den at Monroe Central High School. Before we get that going, let's kind of give you the lay of the land, what to look for. Right now, the Raiders coming out in some pretty sharp uniforms, a classic navy blue with the yellow lettering and yellow stripes down the side, but maybe the most unique uniforms I've ever seen comes from Monroe Central. They've got white, blue, and green, which is far from their typical brown and gold uniforms, but you'll look, the Tigers and the Panthers listed on the back. They've also got the Wildcats and the Blue Devils on the front to represent the four schools that combined to make Monroe Central back in '56. Once again, those schools, Green Township and Stony Creek Township Elementaries, Parker City, and Farmland High School. Pretty special uniforms, and I gotta say, that's attention to detail and something that I can appreciate as a sports fan.
Colin, I've never seen anything like it, and I have to say I completely agree. I absolutely love it. When I just saw the back of the jersey, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, what's a Tiger, what's a Panther, where's the significance in that? And then I flipped it around, and you see the front, and there's all four, and I think that's fantastic.
It's a really, really good way to represent the past and where you come from, and good to know as well that Monroe Central respects where they come from and kind of the development that has put this school into place. The American flag lowering right over center court, a nice touch as well. And we're going to step aside for one more quick break before we come back for starting lineups and tip-off. Monroe Central and Shenandoah on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup and drop-off, and a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com. Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Rejoining you from Monroe Central High School on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. sports.com. Colin Nichols, Joey Patanastro bringing you the call of the Monroe Central Golden Bears and the Shenandoah Raiders. The number 1A, number 12 team in Monroe Central. 2A, Shenandoah. We're going to go ahead and kick it over to the starting lineups. Joey, why don't you take it away with the Shenandoah Raiders.
For the Raiders, the 5'11 junior guard, number 1, Zane Mitchell. The 5'9 junior guard, Aiden Coffey. The 6'5 senior center, number 10, Cannon Case. The 6'1 junior small forward, Jarrett Hellman. And the 6'4 junior, the power forward, Garrett May. Coached by Rick Ellsworth, the Shenandoah Raiders.
Rick Ellsworth in his third year as the head coach of the Raiders, an overall record of 8-3, 3-0 in the Mid-Eastern Conference, sitting at the top of the food chain. For the number 12 team in Single A boys basketball, the Monroe Central Golden Bears, who come into the night 8-2, 5-0 on their home hardwood, and sit at 4th place in the Mid-Eastern Conference at 2-0. The lights are down, the spotlights are rolling. Here's the starting 5 for the Monroe Central Golden Bears. It's going to be the freshman, number 0, Luke Morgan. The 5'10 senior shooting guard, number 2, Justice Olam. The junior point guard, number 20, Jackson Conkle. The small forward, number 23, Easton Foster. And the senior small forward, number 24, Carter Duncan. It is a big night, and they're going through the entire roster inside Monroe Central before they get to the starting 5. And been in a lot of high school gyms. I've seen a lot of big games in the past 8 years. When I was in high school down in Indianapolis, seeing some of the best of the best go at it in that upper 4A class, and I've been around for 2 years now up in kind of the Muncie market, looking at some of the top teams across the Muncie market as well. This might be my new favorite environment to call a game in here at Monroe Central.
I mean, this is just about as electric as it gets, realistically speaking. I love, if you notice, they're not stable spotlights. They gave spotlight little handgun, almost like radars, to the kids, and they let the kids just roam around and throw the flashlights whenever they please. I love that.
I mean, listen, the kids are probably all hopped up on the Skittles and everything down from the concession stand. They're having a great time. We had a couple of them over here in the corner by us. They've shifted down a little bit, and, man, what a way to bring energy. A fog machine down in the corner as well. This is going to be a good basketball game, and realistically, it's a game that could go either way. The Raiders 8-3, the Golden Bears 8-2. This one, legitimately, a 50-50 toss-up on which way it's going to go. Once again, a quick thanks to our sponsors tonight, Universal Roofing, Greg Hubler Ford, The Mower Shop in Fishers, Peterman Heating and Cooling, and JC Golf Carts. Jumping for Monroe Central will be Easton Foster, and jumping for Shenandoah is going to be Jarrett Hellman. The ball is up and away, and it is Monroe Central basketball. Luke Morgan, top of the key to run point. He'll shade his way to the far side and hand the ball off to Conkle. Back to the top with Justice Ullum. Ullum hands back off to Morgan. Stop and pop. Right elbow. It is no good, but the putback will go for Easton Foster and give the Golden Bears a 2-0 lead over the Raiders. 7:35 left in the first quarter. Top of the key, it's Case. Case off the foot of Duncan, gets the ball back, now goes down to the left baseline to Mitchell. Out to the right corner, in possession is Hellman, now down right post, and matching the 2-point bucket is Garrett May. All tied at 2, 7:15 left in the opening quarter.
I love the early press here from the Raiders. We'll see how long it keeps up and how effective it ends up being.
Monroe Central able to break that press. It's on the left side wing with Luke Morgan. To the top with Ullum. Ullum drives into the right lane. Picks up the dribble. Now spins back towards the rack and puts it off the glass for 2. 4-2 the lead for Monroe Central. Down under 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter. On the right baseline is Mitchell. Back out to the right wing. Steps inside the top of the key and fires well short of the rim. Air ball. Nice save though down low by Hellman. Back out to the right side wing with Mitchell. Drives, right block, scores through traffic. 4-4. We're all tied again, down to 6.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. More press from the Raiders. It's a cross in over to the right wing with Foster. Foster down to the right baseline, goes back to the top to Morgan. Now down left corner, pump fake Conkle, drives inside, ball taken away by the Raiders. Bringing it up the floor is going to be Mitchell. Over to the left side wing, popping a three is Coffey, and Coffey makes it a 7-4 lead for Shenandoah. 6 minutes left in quarter number one.
That goes back to what Coach Klein was talking about, maintaining the boards and limiting the three-point shot, limiting the corners and the edges is going to be key for them in this ball game.
Foster on the right side wing, drives, hop step, picks up the dribble, turn around, and that ball in and out. No friendly roll for Foster. Heading the other way, left post in transition. It's Garrett May off the glass, no good. Ball bouncing around, controlled by the Bears. 5:30 left in the opening quarter, still a 7-4 lead for Shenandoah. Top of the key, it's Morgan. Over to the right side wing with Conkle. Conkle back to the top to Duncan. Right wing again, Conkle, he shifts his way to the top of the arc. Off the drive out to Ullum on the left side wing. Ullum crosses over, drops down to that left baseline and has to go back out to the left side wing with Morgan. Loose ball back to the top again to Conkle. Conkle down to the right post. Picks up the dribble. Great defense from the Raiders. Conkle looking for somewhere to go. Skip pass out to Foster on the left wing. Foster drives and is going to be fouled. And it will be no shot. The foul is on the floor and charged against Jared Hellman. His first and Shenandoah's first in the quarter. Inbounding will be Ullum. Less than 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Still a 7-4 lead for the Raiders. Right side wing, popping a three is Morgan. Short off the side iron with the board. Jared Hellman, he'll bring it up the floor. Over on the right side wing, it's Mitchell. Mitchell back to the top of the arc. Now drops down to the left post. Picks up his dribble. Out to the left side wing with Coffey. Coffey drops down to the baseline, and it will be sent back to the top of the key with Mitchell to reset the offense. He'll hand the ball off to Case. Case over to the right side wing. Into the top of the key, it's stolen by Conkle. Conkle in transition, off the glass. His first shot no good. Put back dunk by Foster won't go either. The other way in transition with May. Off the left glass for two, and it's now a 9-4 lead for Shenandoah halfway through the opening quarter. Bringing the ball up the floor. Right corner, it's Morgan. He'll send it over to the left wing with Ullum. Poked into the backcourt and picked up again by Luke Morgan. He'll work it back up the hardwood for Monroe Central. Morgan, top of the arc over to the left side to Foster. Down to the right baseline, skip pass to the top. Ullum pump fakes the three and now drives. Right side, pump fake again. Blocked by Garrett May, and the ball will come up the floor with Zane Mitchell. Mitchell, left side, has a wide open lane, dumps it down to the left post. Cannon Case scores the rock, and a 1-minute timeout called on the floor by Brian Klein as Monroe Central has slid to an 11-4 deficit, down to 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the opening quarter. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break and rejoin you in 30 seconds on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Just over 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Shenandoah leads Monroe Central 11-4 in this Mid-Eastern Conference matchup on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Nichols, Joey Paternostro on the call. Once again, small town charm meets exceptional service at Johnson County Golf Carts. Whether you're a seasoned golfer, weekend adventurer, or simply looking for a convenient way to navigate town, they have street legal golf carts that are just right for you. Experience the difference with Johnson County Golf Carts, where quality and service meet hometown hospitality in downtown Franklin or at jcgolfcarts.com. We'll get you back down to the floor. Ullum will bring it across the timeline to break the press applied by Shenandoah. To the top to Foster, steps through traffic, dumps it over to the right side block, and a quick contribution for Monroe Central. 11-6 the lead for the Raiders, still down to 3:05 left to play in the first quarter. On the right side wing, it's Cannon Case. Up to the top of the key, firing the deep two, or a deep three, I should say, and scoring is Aiden Coffey to make it a 14-6 lead now for the Raiders. Ullum across the timeline. Finds Conkle top of the key. Loose ball. Conkle comes away with it. Over to the right elbow. Passes back to the top to Foster. Foster spins down into the lane. Now down to the left block, and that is 2 missed shots. Now 3, and the putback will go. Preston Irwin scores the ball to make it 14-8. Still in favor of Shenandoah. 2:20 left in the opening quarter. On the left side wing, it's Coffey. Back to the top of the key. Coffey passes up the shot and will go over to the top of the key again to Zane Mitchell. Top, the three-point bucket, no good for Garrett May. Offensive board for the Raiders. Loose ball down in the paint will go out of bounds and stay with Shenandoah on their end of the floor. And a correction, that was Tayshawn Beatty who scored those last 4 points for Monroe Central. Quick sub on the floor will get you that 5 on the floor for Monroe Central. It's Foster, Beatty, Gannon, Conkle, and Ullum. And that's a 2-point bucket scored by Cannon Case for Shenandoah to make it 16-8. The Raiders have doubled down on the Golden Bears with less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Across half court, that ball out of bounds. The pass could not be handled by Griffin Gannum. And that full court press starting to pay off in dividends for the Raiders as they stretch this lead further.
Coach Klein visibly upset, and I cannot blame him one bit at all.
The Bears seeming to be a little bit off of their offensive game. On the right side wing, it's Coffey. Back to the logo, in possession is Mitchell. Crosses over, now drives to the left, and that is going to be a foul picked up by, looks like Jackson Conkle. It'll be his first, and the first against Monroe in the quarter. 90 seconds to go before the start of the second. 16-8 is the lead for Monroe Central. We got a substitution on the floor for Shenandoah.
Maddox Davis coming in number 2, taking out number 15, Garrett May.
In the left corner is Mitchell. He'll work his way to the top of the arc and now come around to the right side. Driving in will be fouled on the shot by Tayshawn Beatty. That'll be Beatty's first foul and the second foul against the Golden Bears in the opening quarter. 16-8 is the lead for Shenandoah over Monroe Central. 1:22 seconds remaining. First shot up and away and good. Makes it a 17-8 lead for the Raiders. That's Zane Mitchell at the line shooting 2. His second shot up and away is no good. And Easton Foster will pull down the board. Bringing it across the timeline is Gannum. Back to the top of the key with Foster. He shades his way to the right side wing, goes behind the back, dumps it down to Beatty, right post, and Beatty scores 2. 17-10, back to a single-digit deficit on transition. Shenandoah can't score. Beatty pulls down the board, and now Conkle will work it up. 58 seconds left in the opening quarter. Top of the key, Foster hesitates, now drives left side, over to Beatty. Right post, his shot knocked out of bounds. No foul call, but the ball will stay on the offensive end of the floor for Monroe Central. 51 seconds left in quarter number 1. 17-10 is the lead for the Raiders of Shenandoah. Ullum inbounds. Finds Foster cutting the basket, and there's a foul on the floor against Shenandoah. And it goes against Zane Mitchell. That is his first foul and the team's second for the Raiders in the quarter. Ullum will inbound again. Ullum finds Foster way up top, nearly went into the backcourt. Foster, top of the key, will go over to the right side wing to Conkle. Conkle through space, floater, short off the front rim, and it's going to be brought up the other way by Zane Mitchell and the Raiders. Over to Coffey on the left side wing. Coffey backs his way out to the logo, just 30 seconds left. The Raiders seeming to be setting up for one-shot basketball. On the left side wing, it's Case. Case over to the right side wing with Hellman. Hellman up top, back to the left side wing now with Davis. Davis threw it into the backcourt, last touch by Coffey, and it's going to be Monroe Central basketball, down 17-10 to the Raiders with 14.1 seconds left in the opening quarter.
The Golden Bears with a little bit of an opportunity to end this quarter with a little bit of momentum. Let's see if they can take advantage of these final 10 seconds.
Right side wing, Ullum. 8 seconds on the clock. Ullum to Foster at the top of the key. Foster steps back, fires. 3 off the mark, no good. Board pulled down, and we'll head to the second quarter with Shenandoah leading Monroe Central 17-10 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too. And we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
The start of the second quarter, Monroe Central trails to Shenandoah 17-10 in Mid-Eastern Conference matchup on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Nichols, Joey Paternostro on the call. Let's get you back down to the floor. And we did have a stoppage before things could get going. It will be Raider basketball. Don't forget tonight's game built by Universal Roofing. Call Universal 317-257-0779 or visit universalrfg.com. The top of the key for the Raiders, it's going to be Garrett May over to the right side wing now with Hellman. Back up top, it's Maddox Davis. Now over to the right side, Coffey fires 3. Good for Aiden Coffey. Makes it 20-10. Shenandoah doubled down once more over the Golden Bears with 7:34 left in the opening half. Ullum on the left side wing. We'll hand the ball off to Luke Morgan. He'll work his way back up top towards the logo. To the right side wing with Foster. Foster drops down to the right baseline, spins through traffic. Out to the left side corner with Morgan. Now back out to the left side wing with Ullum. He'll work his way again towards the top of the arc. On that left side wing is Foster. Crosses over, now drives. Hop step, up off the glass, fouled on the shot. He'll be headed to the charity stripe to shoot 2. And the foul is going to be charged against Jared Hellman, his second. And the first of the quarter against Shenandoah. Easton Foster at the line to shoot 2. 81% season shooter so far from the charity stripe. First one up and away will fall. 20-11 the score. And here's a pair of subs. One coming in for each side.
Number 11, Carter Gray, coming in for the Raiders. Meanwhile, number 0, Luke Morgan, working his way back into the ballgame for the Golden Bears.
Second shot for Foster. It's a 2-for-2 trip to make it 20-12. 8-point differential from Monroe. 1 minute into the second quarter. Left side wing, it's Carter Gray. He'll dump it down to the charity stripe to Coffey. Nowhere to go. It's over on the right side wing now with Davis. Davis off the drive. Miscue between Davis and Carter Gray. That ball's out of bounds and back to Monroe Central. 20-12 the lead for Shenandoah. 6:53 left on the second quarter game clock. Again, tonight's game driven by Greg Hubler Ford and Hyundai. Experience the difference in the Greg Hubler promise at GregHublerAuto.com. Right side corner, Ullum. Pump fake, drives, baseline off the glass for 2. And it's just a 6-point deficit for Monroe Central. 20-14, trailing to the Raiders with 6.5 minutes left in the opening half. And there's Justice Ullum getting into action on defense, poking that ball out of play, and will force another substitution for the Raiders.
Number 10, Cannon Case, coming back into the ballgame, taking out number 2, Maddox Davis.
So Mitchell, Coffey, Case, May, and Carter Gray on the floor for Shenandoah. The left baseline in possession, it's Case. He'll go back out to the left elbow. Spinning down to the block is Mitchell. His shot no good. Easton Foster with the board. Has numbers, goes over to the right side wing. Mitchell fires three, and Luke Morgan, can't finish. Offensive board by Easton Foster. Loose ball bounces out to the left corner again, and it's going to remain Golden Bear basketball. They'll back it out to the logo to reset. That's Luke Morgan running point. Over to the right side wing, it's Carter Duncan. And back up top again to Wheatley. Over the right again, Duncan. Duncan to the top, but it's pickpocketed on the pass by Aiden Coffey. One-on-one, picks up the dribble, tried to dump it over to the left side, blocked to Mitchell. It's taken back up the other way by Monroe. Easton Foster, a lot of contact with the refs, letting him play. Mitchell on the break, right block is fouled on the shot. He will go to the line to shoot too. What a chaotic sequence of events. Both teams having opportunity in fast break situations. But finally picking up the foul is Carter Wheatley. That is his first foul, and the first foul of the quarter for the Golden Bears. Shooting two is going to be Zane Mitchell. His first shot, no good. Still a 20-14 lead for the Raiders over the Bears with 5 minutes and 34 seconds left in the opening half. Mitchell with one more shot. And it will be off the heel of the cup, no good. Justice Ullum pulls down the board, and he'll slow the tempo for Monroe. Ullum across the timeline to Foster on the right side wing. Hop steps, puts up a floater from behind the backboard. His shot no good. Ball batted to the hardwood, and it will be Carter Gray who will bring it up the floor. He finds Zane Mitchell across half court. Mitchell off the drive is called for the offensive foul. Zane Mitchell tallies his second of the evening and the second against the Raiders in the quarter. 5:11 left before halftime. 20-14 the lead for Shenandoah. There's another sub for the Raiders.
Hayden Hubbard, number 5, the senior guard, working his way in, taking out Zane Mitchell to the bench. You know, that's the last thing you want to see for Shenandoah. You're early in the second quarter, and you've got two guys with 2 fouls already.
The left corner, it's Ullum working his way back towards the top of the key. Justice Ullum has a lane, kicks out to the right corner, firing for three is Wheatley. Shot off the mark, Coffey pulls down the board. Coffey quickly up the floor, stop and pop, straight on. Coffey couldn't knock it down, and we're going to have a foul going against Shenandoah again. That's the third on the team in the quarter. And the foul goes against Cannon Case, his first, team's third. 20-14 still the score. Both teams going scoreless for a while. Shenandoah in the lead with 4 minutes and 48 seconds before halftime. Luke Morgan walks it across half court for the Bears. And now works his way to the left side. He'll pass the ball off to Foster. Foster down through traffic in the lane. His first shot no good. Pulls down his own offensive board. Stepping in, firing for two is Morgan. His shot off the mark. And now Carter Gray will push it up the hardwood. Gray sets up shop on the right side wing and will hand the ball off to Coffey. He'll move back to the logo to reset for the Raiders. Gets a screen, now moves right. Hands the ball off to Case. Case up and around the arc. Hands the ball off on the other side to Hubbard. Hubbard back to the top to Coffey, and there's a defensive foul against the Golden Bears. It goes against Justice Ullum. Just his first and the second against the Bears in the quarter. And here's another sub coming in, this time for Monroe Central.
Number 50, Tayshawn Beatty coming in, taking out number 24, Carter Duncan.
Off the inbound. Ball knocked away. Foster chasing it down, and he's got a steal off the inbound. Foster joined on the floor by Morgan, Justice Ullum, Carter Wheatley, and now Tayshawn Beatty. Foster driving in with the left, has the ball ripped, and there's going to be a foul going against Shenandoah. It goes against Hayden Hubbard, his first, team's fourth in the quarter. And that one could have gone either way. I'll tell you what, they are letting these boys play down in the paint.
You know, Colin, I have to admit, I love it. Let them play, let them go. In any sport, don't call the foul immediately.
Driving in on the left side is Foster, and there's another quick one against Shenandoah. This time it goes against Aiden Coffey, his first, team's fifth. And that's going to lead to some bonus free throws for Monroe Central. Easton Foster will be at the line to take those. 20-14 is the lead for Shenandoah over the Golden Bears with 3:50 left in the opening half. First shot for Easton Foster is off the mark. He'll have one more attempt. Easton Foster, an 81% shooter, was 2 for 2 on his first trip, and now 1 for 2 to cut the lead to just 5 for the Golden Bears. Shenandoah leads 20-15, 3:47 left in the first half. On the left side wing, it's Hubbard. To the top of the key, but the ball knocked away by Beatty. Loose ball in the backcourt is corralled by Cannon Case. He'll have to work it up the floor. He hands the ball off to Hubbard once more. Hubbard over to the left side wing, comes back up top to Coffey. Coffey driving with the left, hop steps, goes off the glass, too strong. Ball pulled down by Morgan, ahead to Beatty. Beatty, right block, scores! 20-17. Golden Bears down by 3 with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the opening half. Coffey to the left side wing for the Raiders. Will skip the ball down to Garrett May. Ball goes out of bounds and will stay with Shenandoah. And we are going to have some whistles blowing. A full 1 minute timeout called by head coach Rick Ellsworth of the Shenandoah Raiders. We'll step aside for a quick 30-second timeout of our own. Shenandoah leads Monroe Central 20-17 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Don't forget that small town charm meets exceptional service at Johnson County Golf Carts. Whether you're a seasoned golfer, weekend adventurer, or simply looking for a convenient way to navigate around town, JC Golf Carts has a product that is just right for you. Johnson County Golf Carts is a locally owned family business providing top-notch customer service to everyone who walks through their door. Experience the difference with Johnson County Golf Carts, where quality and service meet hometown hospitality in downtown Franklin or jcgolfcarts.com. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. 20-17 is the lead for Shenandoah over Monroe Central on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles and Joey Paternostro bringing you the call. It is going to be Shenandoah basketball. Inbounding is going to be number 11, Carter Gray. He will find Garrett May, top of the key. Over the left side wing with Coffey. Coffey to the top of the arc, goes back to that left side wing again with Hubbard. Hubbard up top again to Coffey. Coffey working against Ullum at the top of the key, backs out to the logo. Now goes over to the right side wing to May. May back up top. Will hand the ball off to Case. Case over to the right side wing. Hubbard fires three, no good. Ball batted around, taken away. Justice Ullum on fast break. One-on-one, blocked from behind, but the second chance opportunity goes through for Carter Wheatley. 20-19, Monroe Central down by 1. In transition, Coffey buries another three. 23-19, and just like that, the Raiders out to a 2-score lead with 2:14 left in the second quarter. Ullum driving on the right baseline. Nice dish to the left side block. Beatty couldn't finish the first time. And there's going to be a 2-point bucket counted on the goaltend. It looked like one of the Raiders got a hand on the backboard and made the whole basket shake. So 2 points will be credited to Tayshawn Beatty to make it 23-21 in favor of Shenandoah. Down to 2:05 left on the second quarter game clock. Zane Mitchell brings the ball up the floor, joined by Coffey, Case, Gray, and May. Top of the key, it's Cannon Case. He finds Coffey, right elbow. Dishes it down, up and under, and scoring two is Garrett May. 25-21. 4-point lead for the Raiders, down to 1 minute, 40 seconds before halftime. Foster on the right side wing for Monroe. Kicks out to the left corner to Wheatley, now out to the left side wing with Morgan. Morgan around traffic, puts up a floater off the heel of the cup, no good. It'll be Coffey bringing it up the other way. On the right side wing, Coffey goes down to the right corner to Mitchell. Mitchell back out to that right side wing, will get a screen and move to the top of the arc. Over to the right side wing again with Coffee. Coffee tried to find, looked like that was Case down low. It's taken away by Morgan, and now Ullum will have it on the right side wing. Finds Foster, top of the key, drives in, left side, fouled. And they are going to count the bucket. They said that Foster was in the shooting motion. So that'll make it 25-23. Aiden Coffey picks up his second foul. And now Easton Foster will be at the stripe to shoot the N1 free throw. And head coach Rick Ellsworth making a case that was not in the shooting motion and rather that it was a foul on the floor. Foster will shoot, and that is no good on the old-fashioned three-point play. Offensive board for Carter Wheatley. To the top to Morgan, now over to the right corner to Foster. Off the drive, it's back out to Morgan. Steps inside and will score the two from just inside the left wing. We're tied at 25 with 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Right side wing, it's Cannon Case. To the top, and driving is Garrett May, and there's a foul, and the bucket will not count. That foul called on the floor, and the Shenandoah fans are going berserk in the stands. Foul goes on Easton Foster, his first and the team's third. Still Raider basketball with 37.5 seconds left in the second quarter. We're all tied up at 25 apiece. Off the inbound. Top of the arc, it's Garrett May. Hands the ball off to Case. Ball batted around. There's another foul. And this time it's against Shenandoah. Cannon Case picks up his second foul of the evening. And now shooting two in the bonus will be Tayshawn Beatty. And you can hear the Monroe Central, at least we can, student section starting to get rowdy. Tayshawn Beatty lets the first free throw fly, and the Golden Bears have a 26-25 lead over Shenandoah. 32.1 seconds left in the first half. Still one more shot coming for Beatty. Lets it fly. It's a 2-for-2 trip. 27-25, the lead for Monroe over Shenandoah. Working point is Mitchell. Goes over to the left side wing. Mitchell spinning and now hands the ball off top of the key to Aiden Coffey. Coffey will give the ball right back to Mitchell. Mitchell fouled on the floor by Carter Wheatley. 27-25. That's the second foul against Wheatley. Fourth foul against the Golden Bears. Monroe leads by two, 27-25. Ball poked out of bounds off the inbound by Beatty, and it will again stay with the Raiders. Inbounding is going to be Coffey. Face guarding is Justice Ullum, and Coffey with the ever difficult task of inbounding right in front of a student section for Monroe Central. Off the inbound, down in the left post, it's Gray. Over to the right side block, and tying the ball game at 27 is Garrett May. 4 seconds left. Foster, left side wing, double dribble called with 1.7 left on the first half clock. That means the Raiders will have an opportunity for a quick heave before halftime. A quick substitution made for Shenandoah.
Jarrett Hellman coming back into the ballgame, taking out Carter Gray. Also coming in, Maddox Davis taking out number 10, Cannon Case. Colin, this one fairly equal so far. The Golden Bears coming all the way back from their 8-point deficit at one point.
Off the inbound, streaking to the basket and not able to handle the inbound pass was Zane Mitchell. Had a wide open lane to the basket, but instead we head to halftime. Tied at 27-27 between the number 12 team in single A, Monroe Central, and the 2A, Shenandoah Raiders. It's a battle of the Mid-Eastern Conference on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
New year, new ways to save at Peterman Brothers with $1,500 off a new heating and cooling system and no interest financing up to 36 months. You can even get a tax credit of up to $2,000 for select systems and save even more with a membership. Just ask about the Peterman Protection Club. If you're ready to save big in 2025, just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
At the half, we're all tied up at 27-27 between single A number 12, Monroe Central, and 2A, Shenandoah on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles and Joey Paternostro on the call for you this evening. Once again, it's a legacy night at Monroe Central High School, honoring the history of the four high schools that came together in 1956 to create Monroe Central High School. That's Green, Stony Creek, Parker City, and Farmland High Schools. And you can see it down there at center court, some of the alumni from the first graduating class of Monroe Central High School, and also some of those that attended some of those previously named high schools: Green Township, Stony Creek, Parker City, and Farmland. Really a cool night to have for a high school, and to honor them on a Friday night basketball game as well. An additional 5 minutes has been added to halftime tonight just for this. And, when you look at that, you look at a school that honors their history so well as Monroe Central does, and even doing it through the uniforms. You saw it. You had all sorts of mascots all over representing the four schools. And, man, Monroe Central honors that legacy by absolutely balling out in that first half. Led so far by a big performance from Tashawn Beatty, up with 12 of the team's points. He started to really pop off towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, Colin, he really did. Going back to the Legacy Night, I've seen alumni games. I've seen alumni nights. Those are fantastic. Those are amazing to watch. I've seen special
theme nights.
Yes, special team nights, and those are amazing. But this is just a different environment. This is fantastic. We talked about it a little off air. The crowd gets loud. When there's a big moment going on in the game, the crowd gets loud. But the type of energy and the type of loudness that they bring for the graduating class that you just saw on your screen, that's a different kind of atmosphere, and that's a different kind of joy.
It's a close community up here in Parker City, Indiana, just outside of Muncie, and Monroe Central and Shenandoah locked in a battle in Mid-Eastern Conference play at 27-27 here at halftime. Let's go ahead and kind of recap that first half. Before the game, you got to talk with Brian Klein, the head coach of the Golden Bears, and one of the biggest things that he emphasized as being a key to the game was applying defensive pressure and coming out with energy, something that they didn't do in their loss in the first round of the Randolph County Tournament to Winchester. And at one point in this, it looked like the Raiders might have been able to just kind of run away with things. They were up 20-10 at one point, doubled down over the Bears, but man, Monroe Central answered big time defensive pressure, and they've really turned this one around. Obviously tied things up heading into half, and this is going to be no easy task for either one of these teams. We said it right before tip-off. This is a matchup that could legitimately go either way. Look at these teams on paper. 8-3 for Shenandoah, 3-0 in conference. 8-2 for Monroe Central, 2-0 in conference. This is a 50-50 ball game, and we are literally going to head into the second half with a theoretical 0-0 score.
I mean, it's a theoretical 0-0 score, and usually in this instance you can say, well, Team A has more momentum, or Team B is coming off the big shot or the big defensive possession. No, both teams are just about equal. Yes, on paper, but on the floor as well. The Golden Bears coming back from that 10-point deficit, showing some fight. They really had an opportunity to roll over and die, and they did the complete opposite. They said, you know what? Watch this. And they came all the way back. Here we are, tie ball game, like you said, 0-0 score coming out of half. We've got a great second half of ball game. Maybe just like we saw in that JV game, maybe a little bit of OT.
Could be, and I mean, an overtime game, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that for a Friday night of varsity basketball in the state of Indiana. And a big focal point for Monroe Central that we talked about before the game started was going to be the gameplay of Easton Foster. He averages 24 points a game, but he's off to a little bit of a slow start. Just 5 points in that opening half, 3 of which came at the line for him. He's got quite the ways to go before he's able to kind of chip his way back in. A correction up on the board now. He's got 7 points in that first half. So, but again, a long way for him to go if he wants to meet that season average that he's held so far of 24.3 points per game.
Yeah, and that goes a lot to credit the guy in the middle for Shenandoah, Garrett May, doing a fantastic job to lock him down in the paint. When it's Foster and May and Hellman comes in and it's a double team on Foster, they really do a great job of just eliminating all the threats that Foster has. We've seen him stop, give us a little stop and pop. We've seen him pivot and use the pivot foot attempting to get a basket, get a quick basket, but they don't allow it, and they force a pass out to the wings, and that allows the Golden Bears to reset, giving up no points or a point later on.
Yeah, and I mean, so far, Foster playing more of a facilitator role than he has been like a leading scorer role or a court general, you could say, and he's doing that, like you said, by driving down to the paint. Clearly, the Raiders had a game plan of locking him down defensively. They've all collapsed on him out of a 2-3 zone, and then from there, he's just kicking it out to the wings and letting the rest of his teammates take over. So definitely playing some team ball, not trying to take it all for himself. And somebody that's really come up big in that is Tashawn Beatty, 12 points in that first half. Kind of came out of nowhere, had 2 quick buckets of contribution for his first substitution in that first quarter. And then since then, 10 points for him. He hit a couple of free throws there towards the end of the first half as well. He's going to be a big key coming into the second half in terms of the post presence for this Golden Bear team.
I mean, Colin, talk about the post presence. All 5 of those baskets, not including the 10-point, not including the 2 points coming from the free throws, but those 5 baskets down in the paint came right down there from that right block. That's exactly where it was, all fed by Easton Foster, driving to the lane and then dumping it off to Tashawn Beatty, giving him a clear-cut way to the rim.
On the other side for Shenandoah, Aiden Coffey got things started relatively early. He's up to 12 points already to lead the Raiders, and several of those baskets coming from behind the line. When he gets hot and has an opportunity, I mean, he is a fun player to watch. 4 of 5 from deep, all 12 of his points coming from three-point land.
He's got a rebound, he's got a block, he's got a steal, the block being a huge chase down block to stop the Golden Bears from getting any kind of momentum, and a huge steal in the middle of that second quarter to really cut off what the Golden Bears had working. Like you said, really exciting to watch the 5'9" junior guard.
5 minutes, 30 seconds left before the start of the third quarter. We're all tied up at 27 apiece between 1A, number 12, Monroe Central, and 2A, Shenandoah. Battle to stay undefeated in Mid-Eastern Conference play. Step aside for a couple minutes. When we rejoin you, we'll send it down to the hardwood with Joey and Coach Klein of Monroe Central to look at the keys to the second half. See if the Golden Bears can pull away with a win here on this wonderful Friday night. Step aside for 2.5 minutes. We'll be back right after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
At the half, Monroe Central tied with Shenandoah 27-27 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Down to the hardwood with Joey Paternostro and head coach of the Golden Bears, Brian Klein.
For Mitchell, Coffey, Hellman, and Case, they each have 2 fouls. So how do you look at them all?
We're just going to keep doing what we do. We don't really go after one person individual, try to get him in foul trouble. We just got to keep putting pressure on the rim. When you put pressure on the rim, you're able to pick up some fouls. So hopefully we can continue that in the second half.
So, Coach, it came back from pressure key, just like you talked about. How do you look to continue that in the second half?
Just keep that energy up and that effort. I didn't feel like we were locked in to up some 4 threes, and number 3 is their best player, and that can't happen in the second half if we want to get a W.
Coach, thank you. Colin, back to you.
Thank you, Joey. Good words again from Coach Klein. The energy, something that he talked about as well before the start of this game. They said he didn't necessarily have it in that loss to Winchester in the first round of the Randolph County tournament, but seemingly so. It's been a pretty good contest so far, and the energy is high for the Golden Bears inside of the Den. Once again, our sponsors for tonight's game. This game built by Universal Roofing. Call Universal 317-257-0779 or visit universalrfg.com. Tonight's game driven by Greg Hubler Ford and Hyundai. Experience the Greg Hubler promise at GregHublerAuto.com. The Mower Shop in Fishers, mowers, snow throwers, parts, and more. TheMowerShop.com and Peterman Heating and Cooling. Call Peterman for same-day plumbing service, 317-608-1883. And, of course, Johnson County Golf Carts. Experience the difference where quality and service meet hometown hospitality in downtown Franklin or at jcgolfcarts.com. Joey, wise words from Coach Klein and pretty much a straight-up reiteration of what he said before the game. Energy is going to be key, something he said that the Bears lacked in that loss to Winchester in the first round of county, and just continue to play their game. Don't force anything, play good, hard defense, whole lot of energy, and a whole lot of pressure defensively down under the rim.
That's something I fully expect to see. Not forcing anything. Maybe getting Easton Foster, like we talked about a little bit already, getting him into that facilitator role rather than scoring 15, 20 points, and maybe bumping up the assist totals, allowing his teammates to really score, taking that offensive pressure away from them and focusing it on his teammates.
And the starting five back on the floor for both sides, the originals, it's going to be Luke Morgan, Justice Ullum, Jackson Conkle, Easton Foster, Carter Duncan for Monroe. That's 0, 2, 20, 23, and 24. And for Shenandoah, it's Zane Mitchell, Aiden Coffey, Cannon Case, Jared Hellman, and Garrett May. 1, 3, 10, 12, and 15. 27-27 as we get ready to get this third quarter underway from Monroe Central High School. Once again, Shenandoah first place in the Mid-Eastern Conference at 3-0, 8-3 overall. Monroe Central a couple spots back in fourth place at 2-0 in the conference and 8-2 overall. The two teams separating is Eastern Hancock 3-0, 5-3 in second place, and in third place is Wapahani 2-0 and 11-0 on the season so far. The starting fives of the second half have made their way to the hardwood for both sides, and starting off in the third quarter with possession of the rock is going to be Shenandoah. Big third quarter about to be underway, and it's going to be very important for Shenandoah to get off on the right foot here. Excuse me, it is going to be Monroe Central basketball. The Raiders were originally set up to take that one out. Monroe Central, this could be kind of an emphasis point and a statement made in terms of the energy in the third. Morgan, top of the key, will go down to the charity stripe to Foster. Foster through traffic, fouled quickly, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. The foul goes against Garrett May. That is his first and a quick one. Just 9 seconds into the third quarter for Shenandoah.
You keep giving that post pressure just like Coach Klein said, and there you go. It's going to result in some fouls, and it may end up going the Golden Bears' way. They stick to their game. That's how they play.
Easton Foster knocks down the first at the line. He's nearly automatic when he gets to the charity stripe. 28-27, the lead from Monroe. 9 seconds into the third quarter. Second shot on the way for Easton Foster. He lets it fly, and before the shot is off, there's going to be a lane violation against Monroe Central. I believe they called that on Carter Duncan. It looks like he got just a step too quick into the paint. So the score will stay at 28-27. Just a 1-point lead for the Golden Bears. Coffey brings it across half court, hands off to Mitchell. Mitchell, top of the arc, goes over to the right side wing to Hellman. Pump fakes and now goes back up top again to Mitchell. Mitchell down to the left elbow to May. May back up top once more to Mitchell. Now left side wing with Coffey. Coffey, guarded by Ullum, works his way back towards the top and passes the ball off to Cannon Case. Now right side wing May. May off the drive, spins, turns around, his shot no good. Ball corralled by Easton Foster down low, and it will remain a 28-27 lead for the Golden Bears. Conkle on the right side wing, pump fakes, drives, down under the basket, scoring two from the right block is Carter Duncan. 30-27, a 3-point lead for the Bears over the Raiders, and we are 1 minute in to the third quarter. At the top of the arc, now passing over to the left side wing is Zane Mitchell. Mitchell down to the left post with Hellman. Turn around, count it, and one for Jared Hellman. 30-29 the current score. And the foul goes against Jackson Conkle, his second, team's first of the third for Monroe Central. And now Jarrett Hellman will shoot a follow-up free throw to try and make it the old-fashioned three-pointer. And we're tied at 30. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Golden Bears with the basketball. Over to the right side wing, it's Conkle. Conkle back towards the top of the arc to Foster. Head fakes, now drives. Spinning his way into the paint, trying to find some space. Turnaround, floater will go with the friendly roll. Eastern Foster makes it 32-30. Down to 6.5 minutes. In transition, a three-point bucket. No good off the fingertips of Coffey. Headed the other way with Foster. He'll slow the pace for Monroe up top to Conkle. Conkle off the drive finds Ullum over in the right corner. Now coming back towards the top of the key. That's going to be Morgan on the right side wing. Back down, right corner. Ullum, three, fires. No good. Board pulled down by Cannon Case. 32-30 the lead for Monroe Central. Down to 6 minutes to play in the third. Up under the basket. Scoring the reverse layup is Garrett May. And that ties things up again. This time at 32. Down to 5:50 left to play in the third quarter.
What a fantastic pass from Zane Mitchell there to see the play, see the pass, and get the ball to Garrett May in the middle.
Missed three-pointer from Monroe. Will head the other way with Mitchell. Left side wing, passes up top. 3 for Garrett May is no good. Offensive board for Case. Now inside the right corner, firing the deep 2. Again is Garrett May. His shot no good. Third chance opportunity. Ball batted back to the top of the key. May has possession. In the left post, right post, is Mitchell. And there is an offensive foul called against Zane Mitchell. His third. Raiders second in the quarter. It will be Monroe Central basketball. We're tied at 32-32 here in the third. Bringing the ball up the floor is Luke Morgan. Morgan on the left side wing will fire the 3 and take the lead for Monroe Central. 35-32, Golden Bears lead 3 minutes into the third quarter. At the top of the key, it's Hellman. He'll work his way over to the right side corner and hand the ball off to Garrett May. And there's a foul against the Golden Bears. And again, it is on Jackson Conkle. His third foul. Second against the Bears in the third quarter. Substitution for Monroe.
Number 1, Carter Wheatley coming in, taking out number 20, Jackson Conkle.
Tonight's game is always brought to you by Peterman Heating and Cooling. Call Peterman for same-day plumbing service, 317-608-1883. Off the inbound, it's Coffey in the backcourt for Shenandoah. Passes over to the left side wing to May. May working his way back towards the top of the arc. Finds Hellman. Hellman trying to drive. Kicks it back out to Coffey, and now it's up top again to Mitchell. Shaded over to that left side. Back to the top. May fires 3. No good. Offensive board, and there's another foul going against the Golden Bears. That is the third foul against Monroe in the quarter. And the foul goes against the freshly checked in Carter Wheatley, his third foul. Team's third for the Golden Bears. Off the inbound at the top of the key, it's May. And now down to the post. Mitchell, the 2-point shot will fall. 35-32. Monroe Central leads with 4:24 left in the third. In the right corner, Foster drives right baseline, spins towards the rack. Shot is off the mark. May pulls down the board. And we're going to have look like a flop called against Shenandoah's number 10, Cannon Case. So the ball will stay. A correction. It is going to be blue basketball, so it was just a warning for the flop on Cannon Case. And now the Raiders will work the ball up the floor. That's Mitchell in possession. We're halfway through the third. 35-34 is the lead for the Golden Bears over the Raiders. On the left side wing, it's Mitchell. Picks up the dribble, now goes down to the left post, scoring the easy 2, and taking the lead is Garrett May. 36-35, that's the 12th point for Garrett May in the contest.
That was a great pick by Cannon Case at the elbow to set that screen, take his man with him, and allow Garrett May to get that bucket.
Over on the right side wing, Foster goes down to the right corner. Ullum drives baseline, over to the left block, and scoring 2 is Carter Duncan. 37-36, Monroe in front by 1. 3.5 minutes left. Ullum had the steal and then lost possession. It's out of bounds and will remain Shenandoah basketball. And here's a sub.
Here comes Tayshawn Bately back into the ball game, taking on number 24, Carter Duncan. The post game is coming alive.
Tayshawn Beatty with 12 points for Monroe Central, who leads Shenandoah 37-36. 3:27 left in the third quarter. Mitchell at the logo goes over to May on the left side wing. May driving in, up over the top of Beatty, will be fouled on the shot. Beatty picks up his second foul, and the boos will rain down from the Monroe Central faithful. That's the fourth foul against the Golden Bears in the third. Shooting 2 is going to be Garrett May. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left on the third quarter clock. 37-36 is the lead for Monroe. May with an opportunity to tie. Will do so. 37-37 with one more shot at the charity stripe for Garrett May. Tonight's game is always brought to you by Johnson County Golf Carts. Experience the difference where quality and service meet hometown hospitality. Downtown Franklin or at jcgolfcarts.com. Second shot on the way for Garrett May will be short off the front iron. Ullum pulls down the board. Will stay tied at 37. Top of the key, it's Luke Morgan. Hands the ball off to Foster. Foster driving right side. Kicks out to Wheatley. Right corner three. Off the mark. Wheatley chases down his own board. Finds Beatty on the right block. And a foul is going to be called against Shenandoah. And it is on Garrett May. His second foul. Team's third for the Raiders. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout called by Coach Klein and Monroe Central. We'll go ahead and keep it here. We're all tied at 37 apiece, Joey. A little over 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A lot of threes across the board there. And, I mean, we've said it a couple times. This game is going to be blow for blow down to the final second of regulation or possibly overtime.
And that's exactly what we've seen. We've seen blow for blow. We've seen basket for basket. This is very physical basketball, and it's resulting negatively for Shenandoah. I mean, all 5 of their starters have 2 or more fouls. Zane Mitchell with 3, and Aiden Coffey, Cannon Case, Jarrett Hellman, and Garrett May each with 2 fouls. So this Golden Bear team playing physically.
And playing relatively clean. Conkle and Carter Wheatley both in some foul trouble with 3 each, but then it's just 1 for Foster and Ullum with 2 is Beatty. Beatty's got it on the left baseline for Monroe Central as we get back down to the action. It'll be a skip pass to the top to Morgan. Shaded to the left side. Morgan goes over to Foster on that right side wing. Foster drops down to the right baseline. Off the dribble drive. Will kick out to the left side wing again to Morgan. Morgan. No space. Now drives with the left. Goes high off the window. Too strong. Board corralled by Cannon Case. He'll bring it up the floor. Pass ahead to Hellman. And now down to the left corner with May. May back towards the top of the key. With it at the volleyball line is Mitchell. Mitchell trying to make some space. Picks up the dribble. And now goes over to the left side wing to May. He'll hand it right back off to Mitchell. Now back out to Coffey. Left wing 3. Coffey shot off the mark. Put back will go for Jarrett Hellman. 39-37. Shenandoah with a 2-point lead. Down to 2 minutes remaining before the start of the fourth quarter. At the top of the key, it's Morgan. Over to Ullum on the right side wing. Now in the right corner is Foster. Driving down to the post, goes up and under through a triple team and ties it again at 39. 1:50 left on the third quarter clock. 39-39. Shenandoah in possession. It's Mitchell on the right side wing. Steps in, right elbow. Shot way off the mark. And now Morgan will bring it up the other way. Morgan on the left side wing. Moves his way towards the top of the key. We'll find Ullum on the right side. Ullum off the drive. Hop step, loses his possession. Now goes back out to the right side wing to Foster. Foster down to the post. Finds Beatty. Right side block. Scores it with the floater. 41-39. Monroe Central in front by 2. 1 minute, 15 seconds left before the start of the fourth.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Easton Foster with the drive, dropping it off to Beatty.
Scoring through contact is Garrett May from the left side. 41-41.
Blow for blow, time in and time again. Fantastic play from both sides of the ball.
Foster, right side wing, nearly had the ball poked away from him. Less than a minute to go, and Monroe Central has well slowed down their pace of play offensively. Morgan on the left side wing, nice head fake, fires 3, it's good. 44-41, Monroe Central with a short lead, down to 35 seconds left before the final quarter of regulation. Coffey at the top of the key, picks up his dribble, hands the ball off to Mitchell at the logo. Mitchell over to the right side, will hand the ball off to Hellman. Back over to the left side wing now with Coffey. Up top again at the volleyball line to Mitchell. 15 seconds on the game clock. Ball goes down, out of bounds, and it is Monroe Central basketball. 44-41 the lead for the Golden Bears. 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Quick sub for the Raiders.
That's going to be number 11, Carter Gray, coming in, taking out number 15, Garrett May. Also coming into the ballgame, number 2, Maddox Davis, taking out number 1, Zane Mitchell. I see Zane Mitchell's play there. He wanted Garrett May to keep going on the block, grab the ball, make the easy layup. May let up a little bit. Seems visibly tired, but that's A-okay.
Foster will work the ball up the floor. 10 seconds left on the game clock in the third. Out to the left side wing. Passing up the three is Morgan. Over to the top of the key. Wheatley fires three. It's short. Offensive board. Another try for Morgan for three. It's good at the buzzer. And it'll be a 47 to 41 lead for Monroe Central as we head to the fourth quarter. 1 minute, and we're back for this electrifying final quarter of regulation between Monroe Central and Shenandoah on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Start of the fourth quarter. It's a 47-41 lead for the Golden Bears of Monroe Central over Shenandoah on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, a Mid-Eastern Conference battle. Colin Eccles, Joey Paternostro bringing you all the call this evening. And Monroe Central, specifically, Luke Morgan came alive in that third quarter, hit a big three-pointer to give the Golden Bears a 6-point lead as we get the final quarter of regulation underway. Top of the key for the Raiders, it's Hellman. He'll hand the ball off to Coffey. Coffey picks up the dribble. Guarded by Ullum. Hands the ball off to Case. And now it's over to that left side. In possession is Hellman. Hellman at the top of the arc. Picks up the dribble. Over to Coffey on the right side wing. He'll drive down to the charity stripe. And now over to the left side wing with Gray. Gray to the top to Mitchell. And an offensive foul called against Zane Mitchell. His fourth. Man, oh man. What a momentum swing in favor of Monroe. 7:30 left in regulation. The Golden Bears lead 47-41.
Number 15, Garrett May coming in for the Raiders, taking out Zane Mitchell with 4 fouls.
Left elbow is Carter Duncan. He'll go over to the top of the key with Wheatley, and now in possession is Morgan. Morgan over to the left side wing, hands the ball off to Ullum. Ullum driving in right side, blocked at the rim by Cannon Case. Big denial. 47-41 the score. Monroe Central with a lead. 7 minutes, 13 seconds left in the fourth.
Get that shot out of here.
Ullum will inbound and go over to the right side wing to Morgan. Morgan back down to Ullum in the right post. He had nowhere to go. He scrambles back out to the top and hands it back off to Morgan. Over to the left side wing, Wheatley. Wheatley driving. Denied at the rim again, this time by Garrett May. And now Coffey will bring it. In transition, three, no good. Loose ball is corralled by Coffey. And there's going to be a foul against Monroe Central. And that's a hustle foul going against Luke Morgan. His first, and the first against the Golden Bears in the quarter. The game's still well within reach for Shenandoah. Down just 47-41. And as always, this game driven to you by Greg Hubler Ford and Hyundai. Experience the Greg Hubler promise at GregHublerAuto.com. There's another foul against Monroe Central. This time it goes against Justice Ullum. His second, team second. 6:43 left in the fourth. 47-41 the lead for the Golden Bears.
That's the last thing that Monroe Central wants to do is start throwing around these silly fouls early in the fourth. May come back to bite them late in the game.
Right post. Off the glass for two. It's good for Cannon Case. 47-43. Raiders down by 4. Left side wing, it's Morgan. Morgan moves to the top now. Skip pass down to Ullum. Left corner three. off the mark. Foster corrals the board, but it's out of play. Foster couldn't handle the rebound. It's Raider basketball. 6:16 left in the fourth quarter. 47-43 is the lead for the Golden Bears.
Neither team ready to give in or give up quite yet.
Coffee on the right side wing. Hasn't made a three and hasn't had a single point in the second half either. Down to the right post. It's Case. Off the window, just off the mark. Morgan pulls down the board. Morgan ahead to the left side wing. We'll give the ball back to the top to Foster. Spins down to the center lane. Ball batted out off the miss. Foster ends up with it again, this time on the right side wing. Up top, Ullum fires three. No good. Ball pulled down by Jarrett Hellman, and it's going to be brought up the floor, but picked off in transition again by Easton Foster. Right side wing, Wheatley. Wheatley off the drive, goes back out to the right side wing to Duncan. Now out to the volleyball line to Foster. 5:20 left in the fourth. 47-43 the lead for Monroe Central over Shenandoah. Monroe, the number 12 team in single A basketball for the state of Indiana. Foster on the right side wing for the Golden Bears. Drives. Up top to the volleyball line again to Ullum. Ullum off the drive. Out to the right side corner to Duncan, and looks like Monroe's playing keep away basketball. Loose ball picked up by the Raiders, and a timeout called by head coach Rick Ellsworth of Shenandoah to keep the ball in their possession. 47-43. Raiders down 4. 4:54 left in the fourth quarter.
This is anybody's ball game, Colin. Anybody.
Just 4 points separates Monroe Central and Shenandoah. Another one of our sponsors for the night tonight is Johnson County Golf Carts. Small town charm meets exceptional service at JC Golf Carts. Whether you're a seasoned golfer, weekend adventurer, or simply looking for a convenient way to navigate town, they have street legal golf carts that are just right for you. Johnson County Golf Carts is a locally owned family business providing top-notch customer service to everyone who walks through their door. Experience the difference with Johnson County Golf Carts, where quality and service meet hometown hospitality in downtown Franklin, or at jcgolfcarts.com. Man, oh man, what a game we have in the fourth quarter as the number 12 team in single A, Monroe Central, leads 2A Shenandoah 47-43. Two undefeated teams in the Mid-Eastern Conference. Shenandoah currently atop the conference at 3-0. On the right side wing, it's Jarrett Hellman for the Raiders. He'll go back to the top to Cannon Case. That was Carter Gray, who got bumped into the backcourt. It's an over and back, and it's going to be Golden Bear possession arrow with 4:43 left in the fourth quarter.
Fantastic defense there from Luke Morgan. It's almost like he was in the Raider huddle and knew exactly what was going to happen.
Morgan on the right side wing. Dumps it down to Wheatley in the right corner. He'll drive baseline, pick up the dribble, and go back to the top to Foster. Foster off the drive. Has to go out to the volleyball line again to Ullum. And we're nearing the halfway point in the fourth quarter. Ullum at the free throw line off the drive finds Wheatley right corner. Wheatley drives, baseline floater is no good. Ball out of bounds off the foot of Cannon Case, and it will stay Monroe Central basketball. 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the fourth. 47-43, still the lead for Monroe over Shenandoah. Foster at the volleyball line, goes over to Morgan, right side wing. His three off the mark. Coffee corrals. Coffee steps inside the right wing, fires for two, and is fouled in transition by Justice Ullum. That is Justice Ullum's third foul. And that foul went against Carter Wheatley. It looked like Ullum was right in the vicinity, but instead Wheatley picks up his fourth. First shot at the line is good for Coffee to make it 47-44. We're just 9 seconds away from the halfway mark in the fourth. One more shot for Coffee. It's off the mark. Coffee with just 1 point in the second half after going 4 for 5 from three-point land in the first. Off the drive, ball batted around and corralled by the Raiders again. That was Carter Gray who got the final handle, and now Jarrett Hellman will work it up the floor. Hellman tried to find Gray cutting to the basket, backside, and the ball goes out of bounds. A miscue again from Shenandoah, and it's going to be Monroe Central basketball. 47-44. Golden Bears lead by 3. with less than 4 minutes to go in regulation.
Both teams visibly tired. This one's going to come down to who's conditioned more, who's ready, and who wants it.
Morgan at the logo for Monroe. Will work his way to the right side and pass it off to Ullum. Ullum backing his way out again to the logo. Monroe Central trying to chew some clock. Now Foster has it at the volleyball line. Foster backs out to the Den Stamp on the right side. Now drives and is going to be fouled on the floor. We'll see who that one goes against for Shenandoah. It's going to go against Carter Gray. His first, team second in the fourth quarter. And to give you a frame of reference for how loud it is inside the Den, my Apple Watch just alerted me that sound levels have hit 95 decibels for the past couple of minutes. Off the inbound, Foster in the right corner finds Beatty freshly checked into the right post. Ball ripped away by Zane Mitchell, who just checked back in. Taken right back by Ullum. Ullum shot off the mark. Ball corralled off the window by Garrett May. And the Raiders have possession. Left side corner. Coffey tried a three. He's rejected on the shot by Tashawn Beatty. 3 minutes to go in the fourth. 47-44 is the lead for Monroe Central. Substitution for the Golden Bears.
Number 24, Carter Duncan coming into the ball game, taking out number 50, Tayshawn Beatty.
Man, Tashawn Beatty, a big block from on a sharpshooter, and a timeout is going to be called by Coach Ellsworth and the Raiders. Again, a full 1 minute timeout. So we'll go ahead and step aside for a minute of our own. 3:02 left on the fourth quarter clock. 47-44 the lead for Monroe Central, but Shenandoah with an opportunity to tie on the next possession. This is IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
3:03 left in the fourth quarter. Monroe Central leads Shenandoah 47-44 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Tonight's game built by Universal Roofing. Call Universal 317-257-0779 or visit universalrfg.com. Just a few moments away from getting back into the action. Colin Eccles and Joey Paternostro bringing you the call. Monroe Central, the number 12 team in single A basketball, leading 2A Shenandoah 47-44. This is a top for what could become the top spot in the Mid-Eastern Conference. Right now, Shenandoah holds first place at 3-0. Monroe Central in fourth at 2-0. Mitchell will inbound for the Raiders, taking his time. Gets it in near the volleyball line to Jarrett Hellman. Hellman will hand the ball back off to Mitchell, top of the key. Mitchell down just inside that left corner to Garrett May. May back to the top of the arc. Loses the handle. Ullum by himself. Fast break. Scores two. 49-44. A 5-point lead for Monroe Central. Coffey down into the paint. Stop and pop. His 2-point jumper off the mark. Offensive board. Out to May. Left corner three. Also no good. Ball batted around and a foul is called. It will stay with Shenandoah. Foul goes against Carter Wheatley. That is his fifth foul. And Carter Wheatley will be forced to check out. And to take his place is Tashawn Beatty. That's not a guy you want to see go down into the paint if you're Shenandoah.
No, it certainly is not. And Shenandoah trying their best not to give this one up, but shots just aren't falling for them.
Coffey has it off the inbound left side wing. Quickly around the arc to Zane Mitchell. And there's a quick foul called against Easton Foster. Just his second, but the fifth against the Golden Bears. So now for the remaining 2-minute and 25-second period of the fourth quarter, the Raiders are going to have 2 bonus free throws from every foul. Zane Mitchell will be shooting the 2, just get it started. Down 49-44 to the Golden Bears. Mitchell's first free throw will go. 49-45, 4-point deficit now for the Raiders.
That's exactly what I talked about earlier in this fourth quarter, and now here it is for the Golden Bears, coming back to bite them a little bit as they're in foul trouble.
Second shot is no good, and a quick foul put up by, that was Aiden Coffey, his third, as Justice Ullum corralled the board. 4 points separates Monroe Central and Shenandoah. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the fourth quarter game clock. Beatty in the backcourt working with Duncan and Foster to break a full court press applied by Shenandoah. Beatty near side, and a timeout is called by Coach Brian Klein. And it is a full 1 minute timeout, but we'll go ahead and keep it here. Late in the game, a lot of energy building inside the den. 49-45 is the lead for Monroe Central. And this is quite possibly one of the best games we've seen all year for the Muncie market on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. These two teams going at it, but right now, I mean, Monroe Central, a top 15, to be a top 15 in any class between the four in Indiana, a hard fate, but they're keeping the Raiders at bay and just showing them why they are such a highly ranked team for that single A class.
Colin, this game has gone exactly how I thought it was going. I don't know about you, but I really did think that this one was going to come down to one last shot, one last possession, and certainly it looks like it's going to. I mean, both teams have had their highs and both teams have had their lows, but the score says 4 points difference, but right now they're pretty even.
I would 100% agree with you there. Pretty even, and I mean, regardless of how this game shakes out in the next 2 minutes and 22 seconds, it's going to be one heck of a game on the year for both of these two teams. They're both coming off a loss in the first round of their county tournaments just a few days ago, a little over a week ago for Monroe Central, so there's been time to get back at it, and Coach Klein before the game and at halftime said energy was a key, and the Golden Bears have certainly brought that energy in the second half. More backcourt pressure for Shenandoah, but it's broken by Monroe. Ball knocked loose over to the right side wing. Ball goes out of play, and it is Shenandoah basketball. Last touch by Tashawn Beatty. With 2:04 left on the fourth quarter clock, the Raiders an opportunity to cut this down to just a one-possession game. Mitchell will work the ball across half court at the logo, guarded by Morgan. Over to the left side wing with Garrett May. He moves back up top, goes back to the left side to Mitchell. Mitchell with the lane. Off the drive, kicks out right corner, pump faking, now driving his helmet, steps inside for two. His shot no good. Ball out of bounds. It will stay with the Raiders on their end of the floor. Down under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. 1:41 on the clock. 49-45 still the score. Golden Bears with a tight lead.
Colin, you talked about energy, and so did Coach Klein, but this environment is all the energy you need. It provides it.
Mitchell with the ball for Shenandoah. Picks up his dribble on the left baseline. He's going to be fouled. We'll see who it's against. It could go one of two ways, and it will go against Carter Duncan. Just his first foul. And now at the line to shoot two will be Zane Mitchell. Looking to cut this to a one-possession game. 49-45. 90 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. First shot for Mitchell will not fall. Free throws might come back to bite the Raiders in the closing minute and a half of this contest. One more shot on the way for Zane Mitchell. Gets the ball from the officials. Lines up the shot, lets it fly, and it's a three-point game. 49-46. Foster will inbound. Beatty has it. He gives it right back to Foster. Full court press for Shenandoah. Across half court to Beatty. Beatty. Loose ball goes over to Ullum, left side wing. Now down to the left corner to Kunkel. Off the drive is back up top to Foster. Shoots and finishes for two. 51-46. Down to a minute 10 on the fourth quarter clock. Coffey across half court quickly. Has an open shot. Fires. Three. It's good. 51-49. Monroe Central. A 2-point lead and a timeout called by Coach Ellsworth in Shenandoah. Coffey went the entire second half without hitting a three. and nearing the 1 minute mark, pulls up from a good 2 or 3 feet from behind the line and just laces it. Coffee up to now 16 points on the night to lead the Raiders of Shenandoah and cut that Monroe Central lead to just 2 points, 51-49.
Hold my pretzel and watch this. I mean, look, you don't have to make them all. You just got to make the ones that count the most. That one right there, that might have been one of the biggest shots he's taken in his career.
Could very well be one of the biggest shots taken of the night for Shenandoah, and you've got to wonder, the Raiders have not shot the ball the best at the free throw line tonight, down by just 2. More than enough opportunities for them to have a lead.
You have to wonder, though, when do the Raiders begin to foul?
It can't be anytime soon. Conkle in the backcourt working with Duncan. Duncan over to Foster. Good backcourt pressure. Ball goes across to Ullum. Ullum just across half court, and there will be a foul applied by Cannon Case, his third, and just the team's fourth. So no and one or bonus free throws yet for Shenandoah. Quick sub for the Raiders.
Number 11, Carter Gray coming into the ballgame, taking out number 15, Garrett May.
So it's going to be Coffee, Hubbard, Gray, Hellman, and Case on the floor. On the right side wing, it's Foster, and there's another quick foul, this time on Jarrett Hellman. That'll send Easton Foster to the line to shoot a pair of free throws with 44.8 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. Foster joined on the floor by Conkle, Morgan, Ullum, and Duncan. Foster shooting 2 for Monroe Central. Easton Foster taking his sweet time at the free throw line. Will let the first go, and it is good. 52-49.
Zane Mitchell and Garrett May coming back into the ballgame, taking Carter Gray and Hayden Hubbard out of the ballgame.
One more shot for Easton Foster. Lining up. Foster will let the ball fly. It is no good. 52-49. Monroe Central leads. Zane Mitchell will bring it up the floor. Over to the right side wing. Mitchell has room, will not shoot. 35 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. Down to May. Left post is going to be fouled, and he will go to the line for a pair. That's going to be Conkle, who picks up his fourth. And that is again Garrett May at the free throw line to shoot 2. Shenandoah down by 3, 52-49 to Monroe Central. First shot for Garrett May. On the way and short. Free throws, free throws, free throws. Couple of subs for the Raiders.
Number 5, Hayden Hubbard. Number 21, Caden Gray. And eventually going to come in Carter Gray.
Garrett May will have one more try at the stripe. May. 1 for 2 makes it 52-50. And there's your substitution. It's going to be Garrett May coming out for, as you said, Joey, Carter Gray. More full court pressure from Shenandoah. Inbounding is Duncan. He finds Foster in the backcourt, and a quick foul applied by Jarrett Hellman, his fourth.
That's definitely not the guy you want to foul. Easton Foster, automatic from the free throw line so far today.
Still just a one-possession game for Monroe Central as they lead Shenandoah 52-50. Foster at the line. Lets the first ball go, and it is good, 53-50. 28.7 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. Almost an entire platoon swap for Shenandoah.
Zane Mitchell, Cannon Case, and Garrett May coming back into the ball game.
One more shot for Easton Foster. Coffee and Hellman, the other two on the floor for Shenandoah. 2 for 2 trip for Easton Foster. Makes it 54-50. And he got another timeout called by Coach Rick Ellsworth. And excuse me, that's a 30-second timeout called by Brian Klein, not Ellsworth. And this is going to come down to the wire, folks, kind of just as we'd been previewing and saying all night. This was a 50-50 ball game from the opening tip, and man, Monroe Central just a little bit of an edge over Shenandoah to hold a short 4-point lead in the closing 30 seconds of this fourth quarter.
And you know what, Colin? It comes down to those final fouls that happened early in that fourth quarter, but it also comes down to the free throws that have happened all throughout this ball game. Missed free throws for the Raiders have really come back to haunt them.
It will be Raider basketball. 28.7 seconds left in the fourth. Mitchell will let the ball roll up the floor and now take it from the free throw line. Mitchell over to the right side wing. Picks up the dribble, tried to find Coffee. It's taken away by Ullum. Ahead to Morgan, but taken right back by Hellman. Hellman up top, Mitchell. Coffee, left side wing, three. It's good! 54-53, and Aiden Coffee finds the bottom of the net to make it a 54-53 lead for Monroe Central with 12.1 seconds left in the fourth.
Oh my goodness.
This has the makings to be an all-time classic
on Legacy Night.
On Legacy Night for Monroe Central, an important one. Almost 70 years since Monroe Central opened as a singular high school. And they have battled it out with Shenandoah for all but about 12 seconds of the fourth quarter. And Aiden Coffey, 19 points to lead the Raiders at this point in the contest, has buried possibly two of the biggest threes to keep the Raiders in this game as we close down to the end of regulation.
6 for 7 beyond the arc with, just like you said, two of the most clutch shots.
22 seconds left in this timeout. And again, this is one that no matter how it shakes out for other side, I don't think you could have asked for much more from either team in terms of being a head coach, a commentator, a fan, a teammate, whatever it may be. There will be more full court press for Shenandoah. Inbounding for Monroe Central is Duncan, joined on the floor by Morgan, Foster, Conkle, and Ullum. Foster spinning across half court, is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot two. And that is a very smart play by Shenandoah. The most that can happen here is a 3-point lead for the Golden Bears. And the foul went against Carter Gray, just his second. Foster lining up for that first free throw. In crunch time for Monroe Central, Foster lets it go and misses. 54-53, just a 1-point lead with 8.1 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock for Monroe.
Zane Mitchell, Maddox Davis, and Garrett May coming back into the ball game for the Raiders.
One more shot at the line for Easton Foster. Nobody to box out for the Golden Bears, and it's an 0 for 2 trip. Board pulled down by Hellman across the timeline. Coffee, top of the key, fires for three, off the mark. Loose ball, and that's the game. 54-53. Monroe Central survives the scare put on by Shenandoah. What a game for the Golden Bears, who improved to 9-2, stay perfect at home at 6-0. Shenandoah will fall to 8-4. Your final score: Monroe Central 54, Shenandoah 53. Tonight's game built by Universal Roofing. Call Universal 317-257-0779 or visit universalrfg.com. Tonight's game driven by Greg Hubler Ford and Hyundai. Experience the Greg Hubler promise at greghublerauto.com. The Mower Shop in Fishers. Mowers, snow throwers, parts, and more at themowershop.com. And Peterman Heating and Cooling. Call Peterman for same-day plumbing service, 317-608-1883. Thanks again for listening. Number 12 in single A, Monroe Central holds off 2A, Shenandoah 54-53 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Tonight's ball game on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com has been driven by Greg Hubler Ford and built by Universal Roofing and brought to you by Peterman Brothers Heating and Air Conditioning, by Werner Financial, Genesis Sports Performance, and by the Mower Shop. This has been a presentation of IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.